Morning guys, Moon here. The time has come and we are going to take a final look at this character. To start it off, we are checking out Exarch here. Take a look how it's going now. We could wait here now for a while to just get the damage up. But I mostly want to get my power charges up and running. A bit laggy right now. So what we are going to do now is building up our rage. And taking him down. So this was an Exarch. You've seen kill him quicker there, but doesn't matter. Just want to show why is it so laggy. It's insane. Crazy. Should be good now. Whatever. Dump the stuff somewhere and take a look at the character. I have finalized this character pretty much entirely. There is not much left to do, so we pretty much won't upgrade this any further, which means that I also have pretty much finished the league for me. Can't talk today, just woke up. But I want to conclude the entire thing because it is fairly likely that I won't continue playing PoE until next season. Which means that probably will have a giveaway or something in the near future, but I don't know about the specifics yet, so more of that to come soon. I want to talk about the pretty much finalized version for a short moment, and then we take a look at the very much finalized version, because I have changed 3 pieces very recently and a lot of pieces since the last update. So if you are not familiar with the build, a very quick introduction. We are running a Divine Retribution, which is this skill which kills all enemies. We need to block for it to use it, for us to be able to use it, or we need another retaliation skill, which is Vengeful Cry, which we trigger through Forbidden Rite self-damage. But if you are interested in the specifics of the build, look the other videos. I have explained the build multiple times in its entirety, so today we are just taking a look at very min-max gear. So yeah, let's start with that. My setup I was using for quite a while now has been this. Though I do not have the intelligence right now because I changed some other pieces. But pretty much this with an intelligence gem here instead of crit multiplier. And yeah, we're using a trigger scepter with +2 crit chance and stuff. A ring which gives chaos resistance, and we want slightly below 60 chaos resistance for the Forbidden Rite self-damage to actually work. Well, the pieces that I have now changed has pretty much been the wand. This is well, +2 trigger Zealotry artifact crit multi wand. This one is pretty much perfect, aside from like the only upgrade possible here would be to have a natural critical strike multiplier instead of the crafted one with Icarus lock and a slightly different crafting process. But yeah, this is more or less the best in slot endgame one, aside from 10 crit mode. Then to get the intelligence requirements, I had to change my ring because I was using cast speed ring here, and we have created the exact same one but with intelligence instead of cast speed, so that we do satisfy the intelligence requirements of the wand. We gain back the cast speed by the Tormented Spirits enchant because it gives 35% attack speed, cast speed, damage and movement speed, which is well worth using up a suffix for intelligence here. So this setup is pretty much the very new one. Wand plus helical, which gives intelligence. The other ring is a reflected helical ring with frenzy charges, minus lightning resistance, max life crit multi, and a dead mod, which is minus fire resistance here. In a perfect world, you would want a plus mod or another dead mod like aspect, something that doesn't care, like something that doesn't matter. But we are resistance capped, so I don't care either way here. Then we are running an Eye of the Great Wolf for clearing most stuff, and for bossing I am using a focus amulet with crit multiplier +2 to all skills and physical as extra lightning. This is pretty much best in slot aside from +8 amulets, which are mirrored or reflected, but those are pretty much impossible to create, so I'm using this here. Very, very strong, gives about 40% more damage over the Eyes of the Great Wolf, but we are falling over from any lightning hits, so we use this for bossing only. Then we are running a Mage Blood setup with Diamond, Silver, Ruby, and Sapphire Flask for some tankiness, speed, and crit. So we are pretty much crit capped when we have power charges, and we are putting ground below the enemy. We also do have a Bottled Faith and Apparent Interrogation with base crit. Apparent Interrogation is a very interesting item and makes that enemies, like, you cannot penetrate or lower enemy resistances, but or penetrate or ignore enemy resistances, but due to Doyanis we put them to -200 anyway, so penetration is fairly weak. So we're using Apparent Interrogation and the Balance of Terror with Wither for 2 seconds on using Despair, which we do all the time. We could also use a Vulnerability in addition instead of Empower here. It would be slightly better, but it would be a button more to click. So I'm just running Empower here for Berserk and Punishment. The interrogation makes the enemy to take 60% increased elemental damage, which is additive with our shock effect. So with shock and the wither, we have about 100% increased damage taken on the enemy. Then we are running boots with an abyss socket and brittle and chance to avoid poisoned, combined with 50% chance to avoid being poisoned on the Nordic Eye Jewel. You could also go with, well, immune to poison suffix instead of abyss socket, but you would miss out on crit multiplier and life then from the jewel. That's why I decided for abyssal socket and implicit. For the shield, we use Wrathpith Globe, corrupted with chance to block spell damage. Very obvious setup, nothing special here. And then we have a Ravenous Passion, which makes us gain more damage from rage instead of attacks. Works for spells with the helmet. We get up to 72 rage, which is a lot, so together with the Berserk, we get about 100% more damage from rage. Well, this is pretty much the rare items. Then we have an Impossible Escape to pick up some points here to get our spell block more or less to cap. We missed some spell block, but don't talk about that. Then we're running a Sublime Vision for Zealotry effect. This is not 40%, but very strong. Also gives us immunity to curse. I could probably upgrade it to 40. Yes. Then we have a Crimson Jewel with double crit multiplier, intelligence, and max life. You could go triple crit multiplier, but then you would need intelligence on this, and it was cheaper to get crit multi here and intelligence on this jewel, so I just did that. Then we are running two Megalomaniacs. I will go in a moment. Storm Shroud to avoid elemental ailments while clearing, and two medium cluster jewels with precise retaliation and savage response and pressure point. Any combination of these is very good. Savage response though is the best because we profit from critical strikes and critical multi all the time. Pressure point very strong. and Precise Retaliation needs us to have blocked, which is happening most of the time, but sometimes we don't. So this is not up all the time. Self-response technically best. Pressure point, self-response. Then we are running 2 12-point clusters with max life, all attributes, I think cast speed effect. And cast speed, max life, increase effect, and case resistance. So 1 for all attributes, 1 for case resistance. We don't want to fill the entire wheel due to not going above 60 case resistance. Then we've got 2 Megalomaniacs, one with Powerful Ward, Precise Retaliation, and Dirtress Gluttony for Culling Strike, Crit Multi, and Power Charges and Spell Block, and one for Powerful Ward, Peak Vigor, and Enduring Composure. These are not best in slot, but very, very strong, and there isn't really much better on the market. I haven't found any. So, Enduring Composure you need once, and Powerful Ward twice to get more or less the spell block cap. And then I just hope for good others to like fill the Megalomaniac, and I wanted to have 1 Cutting Strike at least. This pretty much sums up the tree. Then for the gem setups in the trigger weapon, we are using Forbidden Rite, Power Charge on Crit, and Power Lightning Static. You can use other spells or a level 21 Ball Lightning for more damage, but I wanted to keep it level 1, just so I don't trigger boss attacks while ramping them or stuff like that. But for clear, you could probably just use the 21 version, and this would just obliterate enemies. Then we're running a less duration, faster casting Lightning Wobs with Deflection, very quick movement setup. You could use Flame Dash as well and just move, or use Shield Charge and have a different setup. I was running a lot of Uber Shaper, and for that, Lightning Wobs just the best. Then we have Urgent Orders, Vengeful Cry, Expert Retaliation, more duration for the Vengeful Cry, so that we have a long uptime on the Rage buff effect, because it gives plus 25 maximum rage, and we use it fast to trigger Divine Retribution. In the shield we are running Eternal Blessing and Zealotry to have Zealotry up at all times. And the Spare just to trigger our Duvel here, the Balance of Terror. You need to self-cast the curse, you cannot trigger it for the Balance of Terror to work. So we have to do it ourselves. In the boots, as a self, Punishment, Berserk, and Power. I tried around with Punishment in the wand with Trigger and Power Charge Ball Lightning through custom damage taken at different setups, but this is so far the one I like the most. Then we have the main setup with Divine Retribution, Second Wind, Awakened Spell Cascade, Empower, Physical to Lightning, and Expert Retaliation. You can ditch 1 Second Wind or Expert Retaliation for another damage skill, but I have so much damage that I just like the combo of using both utility skills and then just having 4 skills for pure damage. This, well, already sums up pretty much the entire build, or the upgrades I have made. So the latest updates have been the +3 Doyanis, the ring, the wand, and overall just very, very happy with the build. It had been great fun creating it, had great fun optimizing it. And like the only upgrade I could really go with would be an entire rework into the version with the corrupted jewels, like the how it's called, the Adorned. I could go with an Adorned setup, which would able to deal more damage, but I am very happy with the setup I did create, and I want to keep it at this point, so don't want to rework the entire build another time. So this is what we are staying with here. So if you have any questions about the build, feel free to drop them down in the comments, ask, I will happily answer everything. So thanks for watching, see you probably next week on new builds, new fun stuff, and yeah, thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.